Happy Sunday, everybody. How's your spooky season going? Let's look at the tricks and treats that are available to us and whether or not we're actually enjoying them. Hello there, everyone. Welcome on into Writing to Heal. Today's topic is not just for horror writers alone. Hello, I'm Jenna O'Malley. I'm your soul writer. How's is everybody? Welcome to Soul Bard Collective's Writing to Heal. So we're going to be looking at the tricks and treats of the season. This is like the start of the most enchanting time of the year, in my opinion. From right about the end of October clear through until January, here in the U.S., it's holiday season 101, right? Christmas stuff is starting to go up way too early, and we're just now getting into really enjoying Halloween in my part. For some of us, it's a spiritual new year this time of year as well, even. So what tricks and treats are you enjoying? Jess is going to be up and doing stuff. Glad to have you here, even if for a listen. And of course, Sherry, stressful more so than spooky. But can that be what your spooky is? Like, is that your villain in your slasher fic if you are the main character of your own life right now? Is stress your Jason and your Freddy? It is mine. Just saying. Oh no! There's only one way to fix this. One moment. I gotta refresh. Is that better? Is that better? Because that's about all as better as it's going to get. I apologize, everyone. Sometimes, okay, yes, I'm good. Sometimes when I sit backstage in StreamYard for like more than 5-10 minutes before I go live, and if I don't go out and come back in, for whatever reason, like my mic goes to sleep or whatever. So I apologize for that. Thank you for letting me fight that tech gremlin. Never looked that way, but yes, stress is definitely your Jason, Michael, Freddy. Yes. See, I feel this way sometimes. For me, I'm used to, former career life as a teacher. It's normally the end of the first 9 weeks right now. So some of you who are educators or who are parents might be going through that hiccup. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. I appreciate you, Jess. Miranda, hello, hello. So glad we got it all fixed. Awesome. So it's one of the most enchanting weeks of the year to me for multiple reasons. First of all, happy National Black Cat Day. We actually celebrate like a safety awareness day. I want to say globally, but a lot here in the US because as a mama of a couple of black cat kitty type creatures, they get mistreated this time of year unfairly because people are superstitious. It's not the cat's fault that you are superstitious, just saying. So definitely take care of your kitties. Uber muches today, please and thank you. I hope our channel mascot to the stars is currently snoozing, Miss Molly Momo. So I hope she allows us to. Yes, they're sweet babies. They're derps. They're total love bug derps. Like, my mother-in-law had this black cat named Bellinus. And of course, we have Tortor. And they're both just, all they want to do is cuddle and purr and act so silly. That's like most black cats that I've ever met. They are the Forrest Gump of cats. There you go. Well, it's not Moo that you might summon. You might summon Lokina. Derp and a half, because she's Tor's twin, right? So it's the most enchanting week to me because, as some of you know, the 29th is my angel baby's birthday. Not the birthday we would have wanted. Had I carried to term, Angel would have been born circa late March, mid-April. If they were a late baby, they would have been at the very latest, like right around my brother-in-law's birthday in April. So it's definitely a week where I take the time to step back and reflect. It's also, for those of us in the spiritual community, it's Samhain. It's not said Samhain, Samhain. It's Samhain or Samhain, depending on which pronunciation you decide. One's more Scotch Gaelic, one's more Irish Gaelic, is how someone once said it to me. Tomato, tomato, whatever. It's supposed to be, the veil is the thinnest. A lot of Christian communities are getting ready to celebrate All Saints Day. Day of the Dead is a thing across cultures this week. So it's really a day of enchanting, magical new beginnings for multiple reasons. Our kids dress up as these fantastical and otherworldly creatures, or just as us when we were teenagers, depending on what they're raiding out of the closet. And they go back into sandbox mode, even if they're teenagers, and enjoy the night. And I'm just going to say, if I have a kid show up at our door and they're a teenager, I would rather shut up and give them the candy than them be off partying somewhere. So there's this whole magical quality of like, can you retain and regain your childhood this week, right? Miranda, 2 of your black kitties, one is Snuggly. The female is a still scary cat, barely even pets. Did she have something bad happen to her, though? You see what I mean? I wonder if that's, she was not naturally that way, but nurtured by her environment or whatever she had before she got to your loving arms. Sherry agreed. Candy for teens. Yes. Oh my goodness. I know the shenanigans that my former students got into as young as middle school. When I taught in West Virginia in a public school building, I sometimes in my developmental reading courses had 8th graders who were pregnant. I kid you not. The program I worked with for developmental reading in one of the counties, I sometimes had 8th graders who were not 9th graders, 10th graders by age because they failed. No, they were passed every year, never got held back, legit the age they should have been. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, no. Sweetie. So I know that I would much rather give them the candy and them go trick-or-treating than them be out at parties doing stuff like that. Bad enough the kids who had the typical prom experience are getting ready to go into their 3rd trimester. Just saying. We don't, yeah, the little 13-year-olds. Yeah, 13, 14, depending on when their birthday and the state they're in. 8th grade can include 15, but they're 15 for like the last week of 8th grade. You get what I mean? They're almost a summer baby. So depending on what state they started in, depending on whether or not they're 14, 15 in 8th grade versus 13, 14. But even still, with that being the case, that slight slider of rule aside, they have to contend with their childhood being a childhood or not anymore. And again, I'd rather give them the candy. Let's get real. If they don't eat the candy, they're just going to give it to a sibling, a friend, or another parent. Eventually, that good jujus of a yummy piece of candy is going to come back to me karmically with good jujus of a yummy something eventually, is also my mojo on it. Kind of playing on the magic of the season being, it's harvest. It's not just a harvest, but certain crops you've already put in your greenhouse by now, right? That too. Jess, either way, you don't need a baby if you are a baby. Exactly. That's what my mom used to say to us as teenagers. Because my mom, she had my brother when she was barely 18. Like in October, she turned 18 and she had my brother. And then right before her 41st birthday, I was born in September, she turned 41 in October. It's like bookends, right? And she used to say, one, enjoy your childhood. And it was always this time of year where she got loudest about that because of indoor parties. Enjoy your childhood. Don't mess it up. You as a girl can mess up one way bigger than your brothers. They could cause the baby, you would have to carry the baby. Is kind of what she was saying. And she told my brothers in reverse. The biggest way they could have messed up in her house was to have a baby out of wedlock as a teenager. So, kids, take care of you. And you're not a mess up if you are that person. It's just she didn't want us to go through what she went through as a young mom. You see what I mean? Um, what's the fantasy aspect like for you this week? I know some of us are getting ready to create a lot of fantasy. I always loved it that Halloween is the night before, formerly NaNoWriMo, now insert challenge you're doing here, right? I always thought that was quite appropriate that, like, the night of costumes, junk food, scary movies, and total thin veil magic is going on, and we start writing the next day. It kind of fed that inner child in all the right ways, if you ask me. So I really would encourage you this week, outside of the epic amount of writing you're about to go do, please find some way to capture the magic of childhood in all the ways that has you going, I would rather go trick or treating than going to the party. See you around.